right, welcome to Primos for Life, the wrestling podcast made for the fans, by the fans. Como siempre, yo soy Eddie, el niño vaque. We got Ariel, the Ecuadorian dream bisueta, and we are your self-proclaimed, undisputed co-host tag team champions of the world. And in tonight's episode, we're breaking down everything from this past week's Monday Night Raw, from returns to title changes. Plus, we do a quick call out to what went down over at NXT and AEW Dynamite. So, como siempre, sit back, grab a snack, and let's get it on. Yo, what's up, my primo?
What's going on, man? How are you?
I'm good, brother. I'm good. Just riding this Mr. Iguana thing, bro. I'm telling you, man. That guy, bro. All right, real quick, before
I'm not trying to be a hater. I'm not. I'm just like it's all really too much too soon, is what it is. Because I feel it's gonna burn out. That's my fear, is the burnout.
Yeah,
like that. That's why I'm like, because I like him. He in the ring, he was great. He was fantastic, man. He did some fantastic moves and stuff. Like, I just don't want him to burn out. That's why I'm not trying to be a hater. I just don't want it to burn out. So I want everyone to kind of slow down on Mr. So that it's not, because some people say they'd rather burn out than fade away. I don't know, but I don't want them to. So that's why I'm not trying to hate. So before it comes across like I'm being a hater, because that's how I think I'm coming across. Let me just say that.
Yeah. Well, okay, so fair enough. Because what I was gonna say was, even though I know we're gonna jump into it, if Mr. Iguana is not the special guest, like, mystery person in the bracket for King of the Ring, like, what are we even doing, bro? What are we even doing?
I mean, but then you wasted so much talent in the other one, because this is Sheamus. We'll get into it. We'll get into it.
I know. I just get excited, but
no.
But yeah, Primo.
I know, but let's pay the early part of the thing so we can focus on everything later.
You're right. Let's get back to business. So just want to do some NXT call outs and some AEW call outs. There were a few things that just want to let our listeners know, to go ahead and check out. But we have an announcement, right? We officially have brought on a graphic designer to the team, bro, to the podcast. Like, we're growing.
Awesome. I mean, we can have a graphic designer. That's cool,
bro. I'm saying, awesome. hey, anything to make the dream come true. You know what I'm saying? But shout outs to, friend and now, teammate of the podcast, Jesse Hidalgo. He's one of the folks that revamped, some of the Primos for Life logos that you see clearly on your hat. For those that are not watching, Ariel is wearing one of the Primos for Life NWO style hats and designed a whole bunch of other merch for us. Not only that, but then also is revamping a bunch of our covers from YouTube and Spotify. So we're going to do a whole cleanup. So shout outs to Jesse for that. And we're excited because that means Jesse. We're heading in the right direction.
Jesse. Yeah, thank you, Jesse, for taking the time to help us out, because we can't pay you anything. So this is your pro bono work is completely appreciated. Like, no, seriously, thank you very much. And what you're doing is great. Like, everything I've seen, the pictures you've had, the logos on the shirts and everything. I mean, everything is fantastic. So what I've seen so far has been great. Jesse, thank you so much. We appreciate it, and thank you. And I look forward to meeting you and just moving on. Hopefully, just growing and growing. So welcome on in.
Exactly. There you go. All right, now let's get to these NXT callouts and AEW callouts. NXT callouts, right? The one thing that I will say, we saw the video package for the Glamour. The Glamour has arrived, which is Mariah May, but actually her new name is Blake Monroe. Don't know how I feel about it, but I get it. They got to change it because it's NXT. Right. AEW probably didn't let go of the name, etc. Okay, no biggie. But she's officially here as Blake Monroe.
Monroe. Okay, well, welcome on in, Blake Monroe.
Yeah, so quick call out on that. Mr. Iguana made an appearance at NXT con el hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr., Senior Primo Hermano Sanchez. So they were hanging out in the crowd, chilling, saying hi and saying what's up with the little lizard in hand. So pretty cool call out if you want to go check that out.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, the main event of the night, it was Obafemi versus season 1 winner of LFG, Jasper Troy. Fantastic match. Good job for someone that just got out of a reality television competition thing and put on quite a match with somebody like the Ruler Obafemi. So if you want to check that out, that was pretty solid as well. Yeah. All right, now let's jump into AEW. So believe it or not, quick observation, AEW, I realized they are following suit with WWE because it was a 2-hour show and there was literally 3-4 matches and segments. So they're trying to keep up with them. But ultimately we got Swerve versus Ospreay 2. Fantastic match. Went to the full time limit of 30 minutes. So if you want to catch that, really solid. The other call out for the show was Hurt Syndicate, of course, now with MJF. He was wearing the MVP, wrestling suit or whatever he had. Yeah. So definitely catch that. And then last but not least, we got the Kenny Omega Okada contract signing. And what made this very interesting was there was a whole segment with Okada and Don Callis's family. And, there was an interaction there. But then ultimately we find out at the end that Okada has sold out and joined the Don Callis family, leading into their match of the unification of the Continental and International Championships. Definitely building up a cool storyline leading into All In. So those are the few things that I wanted to call out before we jump into Monday Night Raw. And Primo, you want to kick us off for Monday night?
Monday Night Raw, yeah. So we are doing Monday Night Raw live from, well, it was live then, from Phoenix. So start off, they're going to do a quick little video recap of Worlds Collide and Money in the Bank, leading to John Cena coming out with the all black background, just saying John Cena coming out. They're in Phoenix, so he's in Suns colors. He's got the purple and the orange. So he comes out and then just starts screaming at the fans for what they've done. Because as he put it, and I wrote this down, they sent him the sideshow comedian. Yeah, is what he referred to Truth as. And then he said, don't send me the class clown, send me some competition. So he's screaming. He's like, every time you guys open your mouth, I learn something new about you. He's like, in this instance, I learned that you're just trying to follow this. And he's a gimmick. No one's going to remember our truth in this long, and however long and things along those lines. So thought it was great because, just going after truth. And it's true, and what happens later happens. And we'll talk about that too. But I thought it was good. And then CM Punk. You hear CM Punk's music come on rather. Punk comes out and he just starts saying, it's crazy that the roles are reversed here. I was the anti-establishment guy who's now for the people. And you were the one who's, this establishment made you. You were the chosen one. The people didn't choose you, the establishment did. And now you're the one trying to break it. And he's like, so I'm going to help change you by taking that off your shoulders. Pick a night. And he's like, if you have any gall tonight. And he's like, oh, we'll do it. But we'll do it at Night of Champions. Yeah. So solid opening promo. Solid opening. I thought there was a lot of, I abridged everything, so I'm going to let you throw some stuff in because I know, I don't want to take the whole time. But solid opening, and then, a couple of the other points that I'll bring in as you go. But let's go ahead and let you jump in.
Yeah, no, you did a fantastic job of really, piecing all that together. Because the only thing that I really wrote, besides the specific things that you already mentioned, I also wrote down that John really does a tremendous job making people feel like crap and making feel like, that we have no power in what we're doing. But clearly, whether it was a work or not, whether it was planned from the beginning or not, I as a fan like to believe that we all made a change or we all made a difference. Kind of like Kofi Mania, like, hey, the people wanted this, and you know what? It was a pivot, and whether he was planned to be released or not, hey, we got him back, and now we're excited to see, the Phoenix rise from the ashes and, come back as a new person, which in this case is Ron Killing. So I'm down. Yeah, I'm with it. Solid opening for sure.
He's gotten really good at this heel. Like he's really good at being the heel and like you said, just making us feel. But it's funny that because you're right. It's like you want to feel like you have a voice, and this is like Kofi Mania. I remember I loved Kofi Mania. We actually saw that one, you and I together at MetLife. But also Cody Rhodes when he won the Rumble, and then it was like supposed to be Rocket, and they're like no, this is like that's not cool. So and I agree with you from last time. I don't think it's a work either. Like Hunter says, oh yeah, it was part of it wasn't. That was, but no, it was a good opening segment. Punk, was great. They have a history, so it's very easy to draw upon from there. And I think both of them did a great job in this instance, and it was a hell of an opening promo setting up for what should be a great night, a match at Night of Champions. And the other thing that Cena did that was great was he updated the counter. Because he came out and he was like 37. I told you I was 37. He's like, and then we stopped counting. So then I went here. We're down to like 19.
18. Yeah.
18. He's like, we're halfway home. He's like, so like, get used to it or whatever. So this is it's like I said, great opening segment. I thought Punk was great to bring out there in that moment. Should be a great match. It gives Cena a good opponent to go against right now. We'll see what happens with Ron Killings later on and stuff like that. But once again, this is kind of why I think they fumbled with the Orton match last month, because he did that for a month and this is his farewell tour. Like, you could have made that much bigger. You could have thrown him somebody else to do for a month and just kind of figured it out. But yeah, a solid opening segment. So I was quite content with that. That was really good.
Yeah, but then the punch in the gut happens when Seth and crew comes out and he's just waving the briefcase in everybody's face, and it's like,
just a reminder. Just a reminder.
I'm still here. I'm important. But no, that really like made my stomach, go. Ugh. And then I was like, okay, moving on to the next segment.
I mean, and to the point that we said on the recap shows, and now we're also going to see this on both episodes, on both shows.
Right. Oh yeah, he's going to be,
because now he's going to do it on SmackDown too. Because now, depending on who the champion is. Yeah, exactly. So, like you said before, next segment.
Yeah, I believe we go into Styles versus Gable, right?
Well, we're shown that there's going to be some King and Queen of the Ring qualifiers.
Yes, yes.
So we know that we have 2 qualifiers tonight and 2 qualifiers next week. And I believe on SmackDown it'll be the same. Fatal 4-ways. And I mean, I guess we can just kind of go real quick into what it is. So the first one is going to be for the men is going to be Penta, Dom, Braun Breaker, and Sami Zayn. And then next week it's going to be Bronson Reed, Sheamus, Rusev, and then there's an open spot. And this is where you think...
Wait, no. Time out. Fan pick obviously is Mr. Iguana, of course, right? As a joke. But realistically, if Karrion Kross is not in that spot and we don't get a Sammy Karrion Kross final and Karrion wins King of the Ring and gets the title shot, like, what have we been building up for at this point, right? Because remember, Karrion has been rubbing in Sammy's face like, hey, you should have taken the deal. You could have been champion twice over by this point, and you did it. But how awesome would it be if Karrion gets it, he wins, gets the title shot. Let's say he wins. Let's say he doesn't. But he's like, hey, at least I was one step closer than you were, and I'm still King of the Ring for the year. You get what I'm saying?
That's a good little storyline there. That's a solid play right there. I mean, that makes a whole lot of sense, because there's a couple different people you can put in that spot, but that definitely adds to the storyline of everything. So I think really, really well thought out by you. Yeah, I think that actually sounds really good. I mean, at that point though, it's like, why mystery it then?
Yeah.
Like, just put him in. Like, why? Which is why I'm thinking there's going to be some kind of a swerve somewhere or something. Someone's going to return. Maybe Ron Killings gets the spot. Maybe they have a match for that spot.
But that would work too. I'd be okay with that too.
So I mean, I would definitely be okay with that. But so yeah, so well, that's the build up for what we have for the men, and then we'll talk about the women when the women's match comes up. But so just kind of start that out right there, and then we move on to Gable, AJ Styles. I'll let you rock.
Yeah, no, the first thought that I had during their match was like, how is Gable not tired at this point? It's beyond me. Like, fantastic match. I mean, it's AJ Styles, it's Chad Gable. And the fact that this guy is still running around doing crazy stuff, I'm like, dude, take a break. Yeah. Like, take a day off, like send your doppelganger Americano to do your stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you deserve it. You deserve it, because he did fantastic in Worlds Collide and Money in the Bank. But yeah, man, that was the first thing I wrote down, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, slow down, dude. Yeah,
I mean, I just had, great match. AJ Styles gets the win. And then later on, there's an interview with him and Kathy Kelly where he's like, someone wants to say something to Gable. So you know what? I'll go tell him myself.
Yeah.
So this is obviously not the end of whatever's going on here, which I think Styles, Gable will be a good little feud. Both great, solid technical wrestlers. Should be fun. So yeah, that's what I had pretty much there. Nothing more, nothing less.
Right. And then next we get Roxanne offering help to Liv Morgan about, hey, we should work together in our match later, because at least one of us could get the win to represent Judgment Day.
2 of the 4 in the Queen of the Ring Fatal 4-Way qualifier coming in later, which is Liv, Roxanne, Rhea Ripley, and Kairi Sane.
Yeah, actually, which is the next match, right? I believe. Which
is the next match. Well, that's why they were talking about it, and then Liv brushed her off and then went right through Gorilla out the stage.
Yeah.
And this was another very solid match.
Yeah, very good.
I think a lot of good plays, a lot of different sequences where you kind of see, okay, wait, is this where they're gonna, kind of turn it around and make the pin or whatever, and try and figure out how you can further the storyline within the Judgment Day in terms of Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez, who were helping each other a lot during the match, and they looked
Yeah.
really good. They look good together as a team. They were pulling some good double moves off, stuff like that. That was really fun.
Yeah, I was down with it.
Yeah, it was a solid match, and eventually I'll let you reveal who won and what went down.
Yeah. Well, the ending was fantastic. And actually, I'm glad you gave it to me because I actually wrote that down. I love the fact that Kyrie goes for the elbow and is about to get the pin. And then Perez is like, nope. And she swoops in. And because Liv is like pretty much knocked out from Kyrie's finisher, she did that flip over pin and got the quick 1, 2, 3. And I was like, yo, that was really sneaky. But again, building more fuel to the fire of the implosion of Judgment Day, or Judgment Day Civil War at this point, right? Because we like them too much to split them up. We've come so far with them, losing people, gaining people, et cetera, et cetera. So my thing is, I definitely like this setup because, to your point, later on in the evening, we see the segment where Dom is about to prepare for his match, and everybody's like, we should all congratulate, Roxanne, and look at what she did, this and that. And then, timing is everything. And Dom was like, yeah, congrats. And as soon as he said that, bang, his girl is there and like looking so upset, like she just cheated on him. And I was just like, poor Liv. Even my wife was like, Liv is starting to be like one of my favorite characters.
Oh no! Like, even after the Nikki Bella segment later.
Oh yeah. Even more so, yeah. Because that other segment was. Well, I have my thoughts on that one, but yeah, man. Overall, great match. Super happy that she got the win, and I definitely like what it set up later in the evening with the Judgment Day segment for sure.
Yeah. Well, the first thing with the match was. It was good, and I was hoping at some point Kairi Sane was going to get the win, which I knew was not going to happen after she hit the elbow on Rhea Ripley and Raquel Rodriguez. Because I'm like, she's given Raquel Rodriguez.
What are you talking about?
Liv Morgan's tag team partner. She came in and pulled Rhea Ripley off at some point.
That's right. I'm sorry. I'm like, she wasn't in the match, but yes.
And then they're outside fighting, and then Kairi Sane came out and gave them the elbow. So I'm like, well, she can't give it to Liv Morgan now because now Liv Morgan's had way too much time.
Right.
So when she hit Liv Morgan, as soon as she hit Liv Morgan, I'm like, Roxanne Perez. And no longer does the name Perez come out of my mouth, then here comes Roxanne Perez, because it was too much time. If Roxanne Perez would have to have been knocked out to watch two insane elbows, one to people outside, and then having to watch her climb up and do it. So that's why I was like, but great. I do love me some Roxanne Perez, so I'm not mad at this at all. And once again, great setup for the Judgment Day thing later in that clubhouse where when Dom walks away, because Liv walks away, and then Finn's like, hey, man, go talk to her. And he's like, I got a match, so we can do that. And then Finn just starts laughing because he's watching it go down.
Yeah.
He was annoyed because he was like, hey, he's like, how come you get the shot in the King of the Ring? And Dom was like, oh, well, you had your shot last time in Money in the Bank and you failed. So I figured I would take the shot now. It's kind of like, okay, so here we go.
Which, I mean, logically makes sense, And then JD's like, yeah, plus we're going to focus on the tag team. And it's like, so don't sweat it.
Sure.
Sure. But then we get your favorite, right? We see Becky Lynch heading to the ring, and I'm just, as soon as I saw her face, I'm like, just stop. And then did you catch that as she was walking out? Wasn't it
A-Town Down Under?
Those dudes arguing in the back, man. So what's
arguing in the back, and you see Grayson Waller walk away.
Yeah.
Like you see, like I see him arguing in the back, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, okay. I'm now, because you have to pay attention to what's going on in the back.
Yeah.
And it's Becky Lynch. I'm focused definitely on those two. I never thought I'd say he's going to be the focal point of what I'm watching on TV, unless they're literally the only two people on the TV.
Right.
But there was three people here, and they still took my attention because I'm just like, oh, Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
So and then Grayson Waller walks away, like he's agitated. They've been arguing. We know that they've been setting up for this for a little while.
Yeah.
Then they go to the little Nikki Bella segment. She's talking to a couple people in the back. Great.
Which was, I wrote down, so fake. Like, thank you for everything that you did for the women's division. And I'm just like, I mean, don't get me wrong.
She was talking to Natty.
Flowers.
Yeah, of course. But it's like, okay,
yeah.
I don't know. And then we get to Becky Lynch coming out, running her mouth as she does so well. She's great at it. She's good. She's quite good, man. She makes you want to hate on her so bad. But she's good. Once again, my knock isn't with Becky so much as it's just kind of the in your faceness about it. Like, just once again, the superstar that I don't need thrown in my face, because like her husband, they have the ability to shine on their own. So I don't need all this. Now, granted, they do need time to do stuff. So of course, but I think it's a lot now. We're I've shortened the segment by 2 minutes. Fine. no problem. Great. I'm good. But, talking 7 minutes of her just rambling on. And then finally we get, she's talking smack about Lyra Valkyria. We get Lyra coming out. As Lyra comes out, bam. From behind, bang, Bailey returns.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo.
What we've been waiting for.
With that dumper booty of hers. Yeah.
Wow.
Welcome back, Bailey.
I will comment that the white outfit was a little excessive. It was almost like Naomi in the full caution suit like a few weeks back. It was like, what is going on here? Perfection. Hey. But I literally wrote the same thing. I wrote, Becky comes out, talks a lot of caca, and Bailey comes and beats her up.
Did you spell caca with a K or with a C?
With a C. I did caca.
Okay, great. You didn't go like the Brazilian soccer player. You went caca.
Yeah,
okay,
no,
great.
that's caca.
That's why I was asking because you wrote caca, and I'm like, well, now I got to see. I gotta
see. But once that all starts getting cleaned up, then we get Michael Cole and Bad News Barrett, right? They're talking, and then out of nowhere,
I've got bad news.
And then we get the mysterious figure come out again, the hooded figure come out again, step on the table, and we reveal that it is Ron Killings. Actually, it's R-Truth, because R-Truth is saying that y'all brought me back. Don't let anybody tell you that your voice doesn't matter, and getting the crowd, riled up, all baby face style and everything. But he's like, but I realize, R-Truth is a little too funny. He's a little too silly, but Ron Killings, that ain't me. And he takes out a pair of scissors and he cuts the 2 or 3 dreads that I saw on the left and then 2 more on the right. And then he looks like a crazy man.
I mean, he took out the scissors and I'm like, oh, okay, he's going to cut him. Because I'm sitting there and I'm looking at the hair beforehand and I'm like, there's a lot of dreads tied into 3 spots.
See.
Because he's got a lot of bald spots there. Because he's got to save what he can get. But obviously, he realized it's time to let it go. So he's like, this is the time I can do it.
To do it.
but I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, he's got some bald spots. Like 2 or 3 spots. And then he took the scissors out. And I'm like, okay, these are coming off. And sure enough, they did. And yeah, no, it's funny because he came out. And like you said, to your point, it's like he came out as Truth, but then he morphed into Ron Killings through the course of the segment. Morphin' time. He sat there with his simple truth or whatever. Who knows?
Ron Killings.
Yeah. Shape of barbershop, cut my hair off. It was good because you got to see it where he's like, yeah, thank you for bringing me back. But what has happened has now taken that guy out of here. So now what you will get is you'll get a little bit of that guy in terms of the name and stuff like that.
Right.
But I am now Ron Killings and Truth is gone for the foreseeable future, which I like to see last because, like I said, I implore people to go back and watch Ron the Truth Killings as TNA World Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah.
Because he did a very solid job.
Yeah.
He did a very solid job. So I implore people to do that before you sit there and just think the Truth is the joke that he's been, because let's be realistic. Any one of us, given an opportunity to make the money that man makes, to just sit there and be funny and make jokes in an industry where you have to physically beat yourself up to get recognition in anything, you're going to do it. You're going to do it. So
he's taking the bumps. While he is, chill.
Right, while he is the sideshow comedian, while he is that, people still have to remember, and he said it perfectly, put respect on my name. Yeah. He's still a professional wrestler who's been a world heavyweight champion in many other circumstances, and who had a program with Cena for the World Heavyweight Championship a bunch of years back too, and who I thought could have beaten him, and I would not have minded to see it happen when it happened. But so I thought it was a great segment. I thought the end was perfect where he's like, because I am the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, put respect on my name. And then he walked out. I thought it was great. I love it. Once again, please go check out Truth in NWA and TNA. He's dope. And I mean, for all the funny and all the crazy that he brings to the table and he's a solid wrestler, man. He's a great performer. And if he can get a couple good more matches in, especially with his heel, Ron Killings persona, where he's not just, funny. Now he can show you his in-ring, because now his matches are going to be more than 3 minutes long. Yeah. Where it's okay, people's elbow or fake you can't see me or whatever, and then he's out. Like, no, now it's going to be matches and you're going to get to see the athlete and the wrestler. And that's what I love.
Yeah. I'd second that, brother. That's really good. And then we spoke about the Judgment Day segment that happens next. So actually, the segment after that is the Seth Rollins segment, where he's basically proclaiming that all assaults on the champions are either going to be by victory or by heist. And tonight's basically amping up Braun for his match about getting his victory, so that way he could potentially win King of the Ring, and then get his match later on. And I think it's like a month after whoever wins King and Queen of the Ring, I believe they get a title shot.
Yeah, because the winner gets crowned at Night of Champions, and then they get the shot at SummerSlam.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. So
they get the shot at SummerSlam.
So in reality, I think this is what I found interesting about this segment, because at first we thought it was Seth wanting to be greedy and take all the power, but in a way it is, but not solely for himself. It's he's showing that, hey, there's 2 heavyweight championships, right, that we could go for. I mean, I don't mind being one, but we got to get the other one to have the full power. And I was like, that might have been the only thing that intrigued me about their whole storyline. And I was like, okay, that's a little different,
Well, I think that brings a great point into why he brought Braun Breaker on, because you have to be able to sell Breaker on something. If you're Seth Rollins, you can't sit there and walk up to the guy who wants the biggest belt and say, I'm going to take the biggest belt. You're going to be my 1B. What you can say is, there's 2 belts. So I can have one. You can have one. We're in charge. Yeah. So I think that helps kind of dispel to that. Maybe I'm overthinking or just creating an old story.
It's a good selling point. You're right.
In my mind. But I think it was. But the funny thing there is that if Braun were to win, because he's saying, you're going to win your way through, right? If he wins his way through, what he gets is a match against the champion of the brand that he's on. So he would take on the world heavyweight champion. If Rollins is saying that, then what Rollins is essentially saying, either I'm taking the belt off of you if you get it, or you're going to have to come after me if I take it before you get it, or I'm going after Cena and I want the Universal or the,
That's good, man. I didn't think that far ahead.
That's why I'm sitting there and I'm like, I don't think Breaker or Broncito can win, because it's a direct problem, because you're going to keep Seth on SmackDown, probably, unless you move Roman there, and when Cena leaves, who knows where Cody goes. Like, so that's why I'm just like, it's tough for either one of those 2 to win. But that's to your point about that segment.
Yes. But then that segment leads us into the actual King of the Ring qualifier match. All 4 competitors get in the ring, and solid match, bro. I mean,
dope.
everybody wanted
match of the night.
Well, I don't know. I like the main event a little bit more.
Yeah.
I liked it.
I thought the end was dragged on too long.
Yeah. But
it was great for purists.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. But the last 4 or 5 minutes of, we'll talk about it later. But
yeah. But a super solid match. Everybody brought it. Super happy to see that it wasn't crazy, craziness happening in the match. I think that was the one thing that was surprising about the last 2 matches of the evening, is that they were just full on matches. Because I feel like in most cases, when it involves certain parties, you're sitting there thinking, all right, who's going to interfere? Who's going to get in the way? Who's going to do this? But no, this was like clean win. And then obviously the winner is Sami Zayn, which
Samuel,
right? And the moment I saw that he won, that's literally when I wrote my note of, if Karrion Kross is not the special participant on the other side of the Raw bracket, and they're not in the finals, what are we doing? Like, for real, what are we doing? Because that is something that I would want to see, build up, especially going towards SummerSlam. Oh my gosh, that'd be so amazing.
Yeah, no, that would be, like I said, that was a great thought process by you in terms of the storyline writing, and great to see Sammy get the dub there. Of course, I would have loved to have seen Penta do it. But this is good, because depending on who the champion is, you can now have Sammy or Karrion or whoever comes out. But because like I said, I mean, at this point, I'm thinking whoever that mystery person is in the next week's fight is probably going to be your winner. Just because if not, then you're telling me that Sammy's just going to roll. Because if you put Sheamus in there, or Rusev in there, or Bronson in there, I'm going to be like, no. Unless they unless they're going to lose to the SmackDown person. Yeah. Because that's the thing. The way they're doing it is, semifinal is so the next one is next week. Then they go against each other. The winner of those 2 faces the winner of the SmackDown at Night of Champions to be crowned the King of the Ring. So by that formula, I would say, I think the dub was going to go there. But good to see Sammy win. I want to see who they put him against. I mean, maybe a returning Kevin Owens.
Ooh, that'd be good.
Maybe a returning Kevin Owens, maybe a returning Randy Orton. We haven't seen Randy in a while, but yeah, I think it should be fun. But once again, with what happens later, it's an open field because you don't know, there's no built-in feuds anywhere as of right now that I can think of majorly, like the standout. But let's move on to, then we get the AJ Styles interview that we spoke about before, which leads into Kathy Kelly saying, "Oh, there's something over here I think I need to worry about." She walks over, and there's the new day, my boys, your boys, my boys, everybody's boys, talking to Grayson Waller, who was like, "Oh yeah, you guys get it, veterans, whatever." And then he walks away. And she starts talking to them, and she's like, "So what are you guys going to defend?" And Kofi's like,
"Oh, we just finished defending.
Yeah, we just like 2 weeks ago we defended. What are you doing?" And then Xavier's like, "Yeah, we don't want to just put these up against any old team. We want to go against the best." And then leading to a thank God for the New Day, which is just awesome. But thought it was great, just doing the great heel work of, we'll fight when we want to, and every so often. And Kofi and Xavier, and they're great as heels.
Yeah. And then we get the final segment of the night before going into the main event. We get Nikki Bella, who gets interrupted by Liv Morgan because Nikki's like, because she's out here to promote Evolution coming up in Atlanta in a few weeks. And she's like, "Oh, it's so amazing to see, the women roster today because of the women that paved the way. These women are here, people like Stephanie Vacu." All right. I was like, all right, Nikki, get these people's names together. Like, what are you doing?
You're coming out for 5 minutes. You can't learn 5 minutes of what you need to do.
Right.
You were doing this for years. Come on.
And then names everybody but Liv Morgan. So Liv Morgan's already fuming from earlier in the evening that she lost and all the stuff happening with the Judgment Day segment. She comes back out and she's like, "Why didn't you mention me?" They got into each other's faces, and then Liv is like, "I know why you didn't say my name. Because you're jealous, because I'm a champion. I have respect, and I got a man." What? Everybody's like, cheap pop, what? But then she's like, "Oh yeah, you got a man?" Because it seems like Roxanne got your man, and they was like, "What?" So
I got your man.
Yeah, I got your man. So then as Nikki's about to walk out of the ring to avoid conflict, she gets back, but ultimately setting up for Liv Morgan's finisher, knocking her out straight on the canvas, like,
Oblivion. She's knocked out. She rolls over, just implants in the air, face down. Like, it's just terrible.
Yeah. Funny thing about that though, I saw a meme earlier that said it was like John Cena knocked out in the ring and her knocked out in the ring at the same way. It's like, I guess they did make a cute couple at one point because they were like matching, like, on the canvas. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I get it. We're promoting. I actually am excited because with all the
Evolution in
talent.
Atlanta, that's going to be a long weekend, right? There's going to be like Evolution. There's going to be like an NXT show and something else. So, Pizza Jeans in Atlanta. Pizza Jeans in Atlanta, ladies and gentlemen. New York Style Pizza in Atlanta. Don't forget Pizza Jeans, Ponce de Leon Market. I'll keep saying it.
Keep saying it, brother. And then
we walk into the final, the main event, which is Jey Uso defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Gunther. And Uso's been beat up. Uso's been fighting everybody else's fights, including his. And that's what everyone's been saying to him. And kind of like, "You got to stop doing this." And that's what Gunther said. Gunther was like, "You got to stop doing this because you're gonna tire yourself out. You have to focus on your things." And we had a very solid match, a very good match.
Really good.
I agree with you. I think, like I said, the end is kind of dragged on for wrestling purists. It's great, and I would liked it, but I think the other match was just a little bit better because it was just too much reverse of this sleeper into frog splash into this sleeper into like. But going into the final of Gunther winning back his World Heavyweight Championship, and Jey Uso only keeping it for like 50 days, maybe. Yeah. I mean, this is shorter than Kofi's reign, right?
Yeah.
I think Kofi had it like maybe 3 months. Maybe I think Kofi might have had it. Kofi might have escaped 2 PLEs with the belt before having to give it to douche Lesnar. Piece of shit.
Yeah, no, but overall, I thought it was a fantastic match because I think it solidified and brought back why we all fell in love with Gunther in the first place, as far as his skill and his level of mastery of being a ring general. I think that's why I enjoyed it so much, because I think that's a level of storytelling that if you're not paying attention, you're gonna miss it. But I feel like by seeing what in his element, showing that, hey, I'm a fighting champion, and even if I don't have the belt anymore, I'm gonna get back what's mine. And I love it. And you know what? And I love that they did this, because even in boxing or in UFC, people could win a championship 2 or 3 pay-per-views back, and then they could start coasting, and then they'll lose it at the next pay-per-view. You know what I mean? It's possible. Right. It's happened. Yeah, so this gave you that like big fight feel in the sense of like, oh yeah, we could definitely switch hands at this point, because who knows? What if Jay gets it back at a later time, or maybe he gets it off of somebody else?
This opens up for him to either take some time off, which he hasn't had in quite some time. Jesus has been on a lot for a longer period of time.
Yeah, for sure.
Even before then, he was hot. Or it gives him time to work another program, depending on like a bloodline thing or what have you. But I think it was good because once again, it also shows that Triple H is not afraid to switch a major belt on a regular show. But yeah, so I think it was solid match. I get it. I just want to see where now with the King of the Ring, where you're going with it. That's kind of what I want to see now, because with Sami Zayn or whatever, like I don't know what it is. So I kind of want to see what's happening.
Yeah, no, I agree. My ultimate final thoughts on Raw and everything that just transpired from last weekend leading up to now. Very great episode to follow up Money in the Bank. I felt like it definitely puts a little bit more pieces in place going into 2 weeks from now, which is leading up to Night of Champions, and then ultimately pushing through to SummerSlam. So I'm invested. I'm hooked. I'm happy with it. Well, the one comment I will say, and then you could go over your final thoughts, is the Bayley thing. I really wish it happened sooner, but now that we see it on Monday Night Raw, and the way that it transpired, I liked that she was getting fit, she was getting focused, she was getting ready for what's next, and she'll probably be the next Intercontinental Champion coming. Don't be surprised if it's like a triple threat leading at SummerSlam between the three of them. So
right. Well, like I said, with the Gunther and Jay match was great, and leading into what's coming up, Night of Champions is shaping up to be a fun event. Like, you already have Cena and Punk. You're gonna have the King and Queen declared. Who knows what we're gonna get off the SmackDown side of things. So, but like I said, I want to see kind of where they go with everything in terms of with this new champion, what storyline you're gonna build, how Seth Rollins is gonna figure into dealing with Gunther. If Bronson Reed has a chance to win next week, do you do that? Where does Roman Reigns stand? How does Sami Zayn fit? Like, there's so much now that's open, especially because with Jay, I think it was a little easier because you had the face, he's the face champion. So you could put any heel against him. Gunther, Seth, whatever. Like, you could have did that. With Gunther having the belt now, the waters get murky. So you have to kind of see where we go and who we're going to go with it.
Yeah, no, you're right. I like that. But like you always say, this is the fun of watching, because now we have to watch and we have to stay tuned and see what happens. And then we're either going to love it and we're like, why are we dumb wrestling fans? Or we're going to hate it and we're going to be like, I told you so. We're
going to come in here and complain like we did after Money in the Bank or the love letter to the Rollins family. Yes.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, primo. Bueno, entonces, let's get to my favorite part of the show, when you go ahead and give everybody the shout out and tell everybody where to find us, man.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as always, we thank you very much for your time. Thank you for listening, watching, following, clicking, liking, sharing anything that you have been doing. Please feel free to follow us, primosforlife.com. Keep a lookout if you're in the Florida or New York area. There will be QR codes stuck random places in the city and in Florida. Who knows? You may see one on your subway stop. No one knows. But please, primosforlife.com. You can find us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music. So please do so. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. We love it. We couldn't do it without you. And as always, we will see you when we see you.
Yeah, we will see you when we see you. Take care, everybody.
Right on.